this, we both have dealt with our own weight issues in the past. If you don't know a lot about my story, I'll keep it brief for you, but I was 60 pounds overweight. I'm a registered nurse, personal trainer, and tried the fad diets, tried the keto, tried the, Whole30, tried all those things and kept falling flat on my face, and finally figured it out. And so for tonight, we want to give you as much value, help you build as much momentum going into 2021, so that you can get unstuck, or so that you can stay consistent and start building momentum, and make 2021 the healthiest year of your life. So with that being said, Anthony, give us a little quick background on yourself, man, and then we'll dive into the content for tonight.
Love it. Yeah, Jason, appreciate it. So former college athlete, grew up playing sports, got into a corporate retail job, got into a banking position, and after being an exercise science major, fell into a role that got me out of the gym, and got me completely out. Right. I told myself, hey, I'm gonna just take a break a little bit, and a couple week break turned into a couple year break, and pretty soon I turned into somebody that I didn't even recognize. I was probably 30, 40 pounds overweight, and didn't even realize it until I looked at my driver's license picture and realized I didn't recognize myself. Right. So Jason and I have both been there, and we've struggled with things, and it's not easy for us either. Right. So it wasn't easy for us to make the changes in the habits, but we figured it out, and now it's our passion to help you guys do the exact same thing. And I recently was on stage for the first time in a physique competition at age 38, right, in the best shape of my life. Never thought I'd ever have abs again, but put a focus on it, and discipline and routines and habits that eventually got me there. But it was one day at a time. It wasn't a quick fix. It wasn't a fad diet. It wasn't a anything like that. It was putting in the work, following the program, and doing what I knew needed to be done every single day. So
love it. And it's a lifestyle, man. And that's the thing. It's like, I had a client in our private group tell me today, he's like, dude, you guys are so unique because of what you do. Like, there's nobody out there, emphasizing the importance of sleep and stress management and all the things you guys talk about. Most programs fixate on diet and exercise, and that's just not us. We don't look at it as a weight loss program. It's more of an optimal health program. And we're teaching you a system that can literally help you live a life of health, but also not have to be so overwhelmed with the process, right? It's literally about, let's make this as simple as possible for you. We're going to teach you proper nutrition. I'm not going to hand you a meal plan and say, hey, go eat chicken and broccoli. That's not the reality for most guys. Most guys don't want to do that. I know that I probably Anthony and Zach will both tell you too, like, chicken and broccoli is not a meal that is fun or like any kind of appealing. And so we do have a very unique approach. We definitely incorporate the burgers. We incorporate the beer. Like, the guys have fun, and that's what it's all about. We want you to know that getting healthy can absolutely be fun. And we'll dive into that now in terms of, the goal of this live stream is really to talk about habit building, make sure that you could start building a solid foundation. And I'll give you my take in just a second on that. But in addition to that, man, it's like, we want to let you know how powerful it can be by surrounding yourselves with the right people, right? Whether, if you're new to the group, whether we ever work together or not, whether we're your guys or not, and we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. But whether we work together or not, if you're in a place right now where you have an uphill battle, you're struggling with your health, maybe you're 20 pounds overweight, maybe you're 50, maybe you're 80 or 100 pounds overweight. We've had guys come into our program over 400 pounds who are absolutely crushing it. And so everybody comes in at a different spot in life. Heck, Ed came in to our program with a 10-pound weight loss goal, from 195 to 185 was his goal. And the guy's down to like 166 or 167 or 168, something last check. So goals change, situations change, circumstances change. But the reality is, if you can implement a system into your life that allows you to just show up every day and be able to follow simple steps, right? It doesn't need to be an overwhelming process or a frustrating process. And I think that's where a lot of guys go wrong, is that, we often fixate on diet and exercise. We want this quick, immediate gratification. We live in an immediate gratification society. The bottom line is, every one of you guys is on your phone right now. You can look up, you can ask Google whatever you want, ask Siri, Alexa, you're going to get an answer like that. And so our minds have been very accustomed to, all right, well, I want it and I want it now. Well, you're not going to lose 60 pounds overnight unless you cut off a damn leg. And so it's just not going to happen. But the reality is, you can get very efficient results, and you can make the process fun and enjoyable, especially when you surround yourself with the right people. I will tell you that when I went through my journey, one of the key cogs in me being successful was getting in a class with people who wanted me to win just as bad as they wanted themselves to win. I showed up day one, felt like shit, was fat. I mean, I'll just tell you, like, I had the man boobs, I had the beer gut, I had no confidence, no sex drive. Showed up day one and I was like, man, I'm an outsider. What is this going to be like? And then all the people in there welcome me with warm arms. And now I start cranking results because I feel like I belong. And these guys are a community of people who they'll lift you up when you have bad days. The reality of life is we're going to get kicked in the face, and you got to be able to get back up and keep moving forward. So let's talk a little bit about building healthy habits. I will tell you that one of my recent podcast episodes covered this to a T. And one of the things that I'm big on right now is not just raising your ceiling, because it's fun to set goals. Anthony, Zach, myself, all set goals, personal goals with health, with business, with our relationships. Raising your ceiling is always fun, right? It's always fun to talk about. But in my opinion, the magic happens when you're able to raise your floor, right? When you can raise your floor and you start creating these minimum standards in your life where and I'll use an example. Say I'm going to go to the gym 4 days a week and I set out, and that's my goal, right? I know that the reality is I should be able to get there 4 days a week every week, but sometimes it doesn't happen. I've set a minimum standard for myself of 3 days a week. If I don't get to the gym 3 days in a week, it weighs on my conscience heavily. But that's because over the years, developing this discipline, developing these habits, I created that floor. And my floor is that. I have floors for other things, right? Other health habits. But that's my big thing right now is if you can raise your floor so that you can start working towards your ceiling, but not revert back to your old ways. And it's a powerful, powerful concept. But it definitely takes some mindset shifts in there as well. So Anthony, what is your take? I know you're big on habits, my man. I know that's a big thing that you've done with some of your personal clients as well. So give us a little bit of a rundown on what your approach is and some pointers for these guys.
Yeah. So habits build confidence, right? And that's the ultimate superpower is your confidence. So developing a habit, something that's automatic that you don't even have to think about. For example, getting up without an alarm every morning, not hitting the snooze button, knowing that I need to get in win early in my day. So for me and for the clients that I've coached in the past, I want to get a sweat in first thing. That gets the cobwebs out, that gets me rolling. That doesn't mean you're getting a full-on workout, but something to sweat, to get your body moving, to get you just feeling better, to get your adrenaline rolling. That's huge for me and my mindset. And then, we talk about tracking wins, but compounding off of that early morning workout, I think is huge. And then developing that over time. Ultimately, you brought it up earlier, you got to fall in love with the process. There's no finish line to fitness. There's no finish line to getting to an optimal level of weight or on the scale. We're going to always build a lifestyle, meaning, okay, I got here. Now what else can I do? That means one more rep or 1% better every single day, right? So once we get to a certain goal, that just means it's time to make a new goal or set up a new lifestyle change or thing that we want to go after and achieve. So if we're constantly focused on one set goal, once we get there, that's when sometimes the wheels fall off or it's time to take our foot off the gas a little bit, and that's okay. But ultimately, if we do it for too long, then we go back into old habits, and life kicks us in the face to what you said earlier. So fall in love with the process, knowing that it's going to the gym and being there, and the feeling I get after lifting or doing cardio or with the battle ropes or whatever it is that really is going to set yourself apart.
I love it. And, the reality is this, and there's not a person, on our team, not Zach, not Anthony, and not any of the guys that we have helping us behind the scenes that would tell you that they love working out every time it's time to work out. It's just not reality. I went on Tuesday yesterday. I had zero desire to go to the gym, none. I was like, you know what? Could I skip today? And I started to go down that road. And there's some strategies we teach around that, right? Like as soon as you think about it, it's time to take action, man, and get your mind out of that excuse making. We're all professional excuse makers. The reality is you're gonna negotiate with yourself, and it's okay. You're gonna skip once in a while. But for me, what I did is I went right into our community and I was like, you know what? I'm going to skip the gym today. And then I see personal best, personal best, personal best. I'm like, not skipping to the gym today. And so, having that role and having that leverage as well is huge. So that's another piece of surrounding yourself with the right people, because man, that's such a powerful part of you being able to get through those rough spots, those rough days. We're all dudes. We all carry around a lot of weight, man. Like, well, a lot of us, the guys in this group are dads. A lot of the guys in this group might be even grandpas. We're brothers, we're sisters, we're fathers. And at the end of the day, we carry a lot of weight on ourselves. And so when it comes to health, I know I let my health take a back seat for a long time because I was prioritizing other things in my life. And I finally realized, like, look, man, like and it's kind of the flight attendant analogy, right? Like, I got to put on my own damn mask before I'm going to be able to put on a mask for my kid or anybody else that I'm going to try to help. And it pains me to think that I can't keep up with my kids. I can't be around with be around for my children long term because I didn't take care of myself on the front end. And so, part of building habits is really digging deep and discovering, all right, what is my true why? And whether you consider it a why, a driving motivator, what is it right now in your life that has you even thinking about, okay, I need to develop healthy habits for long-term sustainable success because of this, right? We all have different motivators. These things change over time. For me, I have 2 kids and a wife that I would be crushed if anything happened to me that I couldn't provide for them, right? And so it is my ultimate responsibility. It's my moral obligation as well as responsibility to them to make my health a priority so that I can keep up with them. I can enjoy life. I'm 41 and I have a 5-month-old, right? And so for me, when he's 10 years old, I'm going to be an older dad. I'm going to be 51 years old, 52 years old. So when he's 10, I still want to be able to keep up with him. Anthony, I think, mentioned on a prior live stream, he wants to be the grandpa at the trampoline park, right? Like, that's the vision that we have. And as Anthony mentioned a minute ago, right? Like, it's a long-term journey. It doesn't have an ending point. You got to embrace the journey. We tell every single client that comes in, goal number 1 is to get you to where you want to be with your physique, your health, right? If you come in with a 50-pound weight loss goal, we want to get you there. And that's goal number 1. But goal number 2 is not to lose sight of that longer term vision, man. When you create a 1, a 3, a 5, a 10-year vision, then the process becomes more, a little bit easier to embrace, because now it's not just about, okay, I'm going to lose this 50 pounds and then what's next, right? It's like, I'm going to put in the reps over time. The 50 pounds is going to come off because I'm doing everything necessary to keep my health as where it needs to be. And the 50 pounds is just going to come off because of that, right? It's not the task at hand. And so both are important, but being able to embrace that journey is so huge, man. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. And what I was going to say too is, being a part of a community and having others holding you accountable, there's not a better feeling than having somebody help celebrate your wins, right? And in some cases, you're going to throw up the losses too, and you're not going to win every single day, but having them pick you back up and ultimately getting back up every single day is where it's about. And something I do want to comment on, because I've seen communities, we get involved in what we like to call imposter syndrome, right? Where we see these fake things on social media and stuff like that, and start looking at people on Instagram posts that have the perfect lighting and the perfect angle and the perfect shade, but ultimately they don't look like that all the time, right? Or they're spray painted on abs or whatever it is. But you need to focus on you. So our group, and especially our private group, it's not comparing to others. It's you being your best version of yourself, and that's what we want to help you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah,
absolutely a team, and we want you to get to the best version of who you are and what that looks like and feels like, and ultimately. That's what it's all about. And that's what you get in this group, as well as even more so in the private group that I love and that I've truly seen make huge strides for people. So
no doubt. And it's become a brotherhood, right? And having that community to leverage. Dude, when you have bad days, man, like even myself as one of the leaders of the community, like all I got to do is go through and scroll a couple posts and I'm like, all right, dude, like I got to pick my shit up. Right. And so love it. So in terms of, I want to talk a little bit about motivation right now, because going into a new year, right? Like it's very easy to say, okay, well, the calendar is going to flip over and I'm going into a new year. I'm going to make some resolutions and get it together. Probably a lot of you guys in this group that have said that more than once and maybe even more than 10 times. And one of those guys is myself, because before I got my act together It was every time the calendar flipped, you know what? I'm going to start working out. I'm going to start eating a little healthier. And then by February, March, it's all off the table and I'm back to my old ways. And I think that, it's easy to get motivated for a new year, but if you've waited this long and that is going to be the reason for you, then it's not likely going to stick. So again, finding that why, finding that driving motivator, but that comes down to doing some soul searching, man. That's some deep shit. You can't just say, well, you know what? I know I need to get healthy, so I'm just going to do it because the calendar flipped. Like, you got to know why, because there are going to be days that come up where you don't have motivation. And at the end of the day, you can't rely on motivation to carry you through all the time. It just doesn't. It's not going to show up on your front porch in an Amazon Prime box. That's not the reality. The reality is there's going to be a lot of days where you're not motivated at all, and you got to create your own. And a big part of that is being able to create these long-term sustainable habits so that when you already expect that bad day coming, it's already going to be there. And you know that in your mind, you're going to flip the script. You're going to be like, you know what? I know how I can make this day better. And that's going to the gym, or that's, I'm going to eat a little bit healthier today because I ate like shit yesterday and I want to feel better. There's all these little intrinsic motivators that can go on. But again, that deep why, that deep, how am I going to make this happen? Because I know that I need it not for tomorrow and not for next week, but I know that I need it in a year. I need it in 5 years. I know that I can be a better man, a better family member, a better husband, a better father, and a better version of me. And when you start thinking on those terms versus, I need to lose some weight because the doc said so, it's pretty powerful stuff. And that's the reality, is that sometimes you gotta have those deep thoughts with yourself, because we're all men. And again, we carry around a lot of weight, right? We can, and not, no pun intended, but we carry a lot, right? We have a lot of responsibilities, and this has been a crazy year for a lot of people. And so really digging down deep and discovering your why, or what that driving motivator is for you, so that on those days where you don't have motivation, you're leveraging momentum instead. Because my big thing is Mondays are momentum. I don't work out on the weekends. And Zach and Anthony, I think they're scattered. They do a little bit of that. For me, it's Monday through Friday. And I'm Saturday and Sunday off religiously every single week. And that just works for my mind. And so I know that on Monday, if I don't work out on Monday, it's a built-in excuse for Tuesday and beyond. So Mondays are a big thing, especially in our community. It's like, you better get it done on Monday, because now you already created that momentum for the rest of the week. So what do you think about that, Anthony?
Yeah, so totally agree. And I think the other thing to think about as far as your why goes is, I mean, most of us are dads in this group, so it's easy to have our kids as our whys, but don't forget to love on yourself a little bit too. You need to do it for yourself, right? There's not a better feeling in the world than having confidence taking your shirt off at the pool. And I don't want to make it a aesthetic thing or a look good thing, but I promise you guys, if you look better with your shirt on or off, if you're going to feel better, you're going to be more confident, you're going to be better for your wife and kids, or significant other and your kids. You're going to be better at work, for your colleagues, for your your employees, your staff, whatever that looks like on the business side of things. It all starts with fitness is the foundation, in my opinion, of all things success. And I truly believe that. And I will preach that until every day for the rest of my life, because it's just what it is.
Health is wealth, man. And it is. Without it, you don't have much, right? And so, there's a lot of billionaires out there right now who would trade their entire fortune to get their health back, and that's the reality. So, I love it. And I think that, a crucial point there, you started bringing up the confidence with the shirt off. At the end of the day, not everybody cares about abs, but every single guy in this group cares about confidence, right?
Right.
Confidence exudes itself in every area of life, and it starts from the inside. It's when you start to feel good on the inside, then you start to feel good on the outside. And when you put in the reps each and every week, and this is not about going to the gym and spending 3 hours there. This is not about eating chicken and broccoli every meal. This is just showing up and doing the things that you need to do on a weekly basis to keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can, and the rest will take care of itself. I had a call with a guy today, one of our private clients, one-on-one call with him, and he was like, you know what, dude, like of course I want abs, but I know they're going to come with time, because I now have the system, and all I got to do is show up. Whether that happens in 6 months or whether that happens in a year, I know that the abs are going to show, because I'm putting in the reps because of all the positives that it's giving me in my life. It's not just about fixating on the abs, right? Like that's a secondary of you putting in the reps. And I told him, I was like, you know what? The two main reasons that I even go to the gym have nothing to do with my physique. It's mental clarity and energy. Without the gym, my mind, I would not be a very nice guy. My wife would be pissed off all the time. My kids would be like, who's this guy? And I just wouldn't be right. And so I agree with you that, you know, that health and fitness, like that is the core, and everything else can be built on top of that, right? There are guys that do it the other way around. They build up everything else and they get in really bad shape and then fix it. If it's me though, I'm proactive on the front end, man. And that's just the more sustainable way to go about it if you can do it that way.
And here's the other thing. It's overall health. Like, you know, we don't know if another coronavirus is going to come around, not to get political or talk any of that jazz.
No, I get it.
Like I want to know that if something like that happens to me, if it's the flu or whatever, I'm going to deal with it. I'm healthy. I'm not going to have to worry about it. And I'm moving on, right? It might knock me down for a day or two, and then I'm back on the grind and away we go. And I want to be able to continue to do the things I need to do. Like, so that's part of it too, is your overall health, I think. Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt, man. If you guys are getting value out of this so far, type value into the comments below so that anybody that's getting the replay tomorrow will see value pop up. Anytime that happens, man, obviously these things are timestamped. So if they see value multiple times throughout the stream, they're going to stick around and want to watch the content, man. We're here to help you guys. We're here to help you build momentum for 2021. And everything that we do, we pour our heart and soul into this group because we believe we're here to make an impact, right? Like that's our sole focus. Yes, we have a business to run, but at the end of the day, I know damn good and well that not everybody in here is going to become a client or a customer, and that's okay. The reality is I know there's a lot of guys in here who will never be a customer, but have reached out to me several times saying, hey, you know what? Like this group has helped me so much. I'm down 15 pounds. Or because of the things that you're talking about in here, I finally got to a point where I'm able to do this and I'm able to like put one foot forward and I'm starting to build the momentum that you talk about. And so, you know, we're here to help you guys. If you have questions, man, you can always post them in the stream below as well. We will go through and answer every single question. I know Zach is in there commenting now too. So Zach is in there engaging with you guys. So if you do have questions, drop them down. Either myself or Zach will get to those as well. So I want to transition a little bit to kind of what we're seeing going on in the community. So I talked about in the post that we're averaging right now about 100 pounds lost inside of our community, which is a fairly small community. There's not a lot of guys in there, but the results that we're getting out of there are very efficient. Now, some of our we'll call it biggest losers, you know, they might hit a little bit of a stall. We don't use the word plateau because these guys usually aren't with us long enough to hit a true plateau. And so you might hit a little stall. We'll make some adjustments and we move forward. But we're hitting right a little over 100 pounds a month, which is insane in such a small group. But it just shows the process, how well the system works. And what I want you guys to know is this is health. Okay. And you cannot hear something one time when it comes to health and expect it to stick. Right. These are habits that must be reinforced over time. And that is why we put so much emphasis on our community, because when we're in there on our coaching calls, we're in there providing value in the group and making sure that we're providing an adequate answer or explanation for any question in there. When we're in there making ourselves available to you guys so that if you do have any needs that arise, we're there to help you move forward, jump through those hoops, whatever you got to do, smash those struggles and move on and continue getting results. And so part of getting the health content is great, but obviously, and I've mentioned this on prior live streams too, it's like we don't lack for information, right? We lack for application. Now, I'm not going to say that what we do is not quite unique, right? Like I told you guys at the beginning of the live stream, like there's not a lot of guys, there's not a lot of group health guys out there coaching the entire health from top to bottom, right? Not a lot of guys talking about sleep and stress management. Most are going to fixate on diet and exercise, and that's what society does. You go to the doctor right now and you're overweight. What are they going to tell you? Move more, eat less. They're not going to ask you what's your sleep like or what's your stress like. And so when you have the full gamut and you can start focusing on the things that will make the efforts that you're putting off with diet and exercise pay off that much more, that's where the magic really starts to happen, man. And I'm telling you, when you get your sleep and your stress dialed in, you just become a happier person, right? It all starts to kind of churn together. And so some of the things that I'm seeing inside our group right now, I'll just share some of that with you, is I've seen a couple posts lately from guys who are literally going through the curriculum. I had a call with a guy today. He was like, hey man, I've made it through the entire curriculum once. And my goal for the first 2 months in 2021 is to start working through it all and going through every single video again. And I'm like, whoa, dude, like you are an overachiever, but you're crushing it for a reason, right? And that's the thing, is like, health habits are not something that you can hear about once and expect them to stick. You need the constant reinforcement so that you can develop the habits over time, develop the discipline, and then eventually you go off on your own and you don't revert back to your old ways. And that's just one of the things that I've been seeing. So, Anthony, I know what have you noticed about the momentum that we're building in the last month of this year?
Yep. So in the group, we know what our goals are individually, right? And Jason, Zach, myself, for each of you individually in the group, we know what your goals are as well. But you can, if you're not careful, the promises you keep to yourself, if you don't tell somebody else, you won't know if you don't keep those promises, right? And that's where that self-confidence comes in. But then also sharing those goals inside the group to have the others hold you accountable and help build that confidence and make sure you're sticking to what you want to do. There's nothing better than that, right? So again, it goes back to the accountability, but it goes back to sharing what your goals are inside the community, so that if you're not feeling like going in, or not feeling like eating right, or you're ready for to go on a bender, or eat that dessert, or whatever it is, that's what the community is there for. And it's not just us. It's not just Jason, Zach, and I. It's everybody else. And coming from them versus us is a lot of times even more powerful, right?
Huge, dude. And it's funny because when you start to see other guys learning from our prior students, right? Like the students are in there teaching what they've learned. That just shines a light on me. It's like, I'm like, dude, that is amazing to see, because like you've taken a concept, implemented it, and learned it exactly to a T like we teach, and now you're teaching it. It's so powerful to see that. But one of the things, and you guys have probably seen Rick. I'm not sure if Rick made it tonight. He said he might try to chime in here. Haven't seen him comment much, but if you guys have seen Rick's posts in this group, this guy's crushing it, dude. Rick came in at he like 380 or something close to that. And I'll tell you right now, man, like this guy's whole life has flipped upside down because of leveraging this community. But not only that, like, and I told him this the other day, I was like, dude, you're one of the heaviest, or started as one of the heaviest guys in the program. And you've like cemented yourself as a leader in the community. You know how good that feels to come in as one of the biggest guys with probably some confidence and insecurity issues about your size, and then be told that like you've become a leader. He's a shining star in that group. Yeah. And he's putting in the work on a day in and day out basis and just crushing it. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't care where you're at in your journey. If that guy can do it, going through what he did with his health history, dude, anybody can do it. Like you can come in and absolutely crush with us by using and leveraging the same system.
And he's a grandpa too. He's not just a dad, he's a grandpa too.
That's so awesome. So, all right, man. Well, hopefully you guys got some value out of this. I know I saw a lot of values in there. So here is kind of what we'll call the commercial break, right? You guys came for the habit building, really for the long-term sustainable success. That's really what we wanted to cover, lay down some kind of foundational principles so that you can go into 2021, start thinking a little bit on a deeper level. Like, how am I going to approach this? It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It doesn't need to be frustrating. You simplify the process and you start taking the steps that you need to get to where you want to be. Dial in your sleep. You start making stress management an actual priority. Don't wait till Friday to pull your hair out because you've been so stressed from the week. This is something you got to stay on top of. Going to bed on time, man. Don't go to bed at 12 o'clock knowing you got to get up at 5. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. I don't care how much you work out or how healthy you eat. And so all these little things add up to the big picture. And so going into 2021, make sure that you're not paying attention to all these moving parts, man. Just simplify the process. Just start putting in the reps and building these habits slowly over time. And that is where the magic happens. That's how Zach did it. That's how Anthony did it. That's how myself did it. And that is, I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to do it any other way, some guys can be successful like that. But I've seen more times than not, you go out and you follow a keto, lose 50 pounds only to gain 60. And that's what we don't want to see. And that's why we believe so firmly in what we do. So